Hi friends, it's Pat Sloan here. And so today is one of the very fun celebration days, and you know that I love the celebration days. You cannot give me enough of those. They're super fun. Okay, so today is Pi Day because March 14th, 3.14 is the beginning of Pi. And of course, we have to celebrate the edible pie today. So what I do, my grocery store carries these little mini pies. Mine, cherry, which is red, everything red. Mr. Greg's, apple. He does not care for cherry, which is good, more for me. And these are made in Worcester, Massachusetts. So all of you Massachusetts quilters chime in. Did I say that right? Worcester. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Definitely not with a Massachusetts accent. Okay, so these cute little pies are our celebration. But I also, over the years, I have put a pie block on things. So let me just show you. Let me show you. Okay, so I have got, this is my original farmer's market. When I did the original, now the pattern is in my Teach Me to Applique book. So many of you have that book. Of course, it's out of print, but you can still get issues on Amazon. I'll link you below. So this is the original one that I did. Ta-da! And there is a pie on there. The original. I just love this one so much. So much. And here's the backing, because I know a lot of you like to see the backing. It was a giant Amy Butler print. The one in the book does not have the applique hoops on the top and the bottom. Is it in the bottom too? Yeah. They don't have that. That is not on there. This was done originally as a quilt along on my website, and then I put it in the book. So this is, now what I also did is I took that pie image. There's the pies. Aren't they fun? I just loved making this one, all the fun fabrics. So I took that pies and did kind of an Americana version. Remember we talked about plaids the other day and how plaids were everywhere? These were Dan River plaids. Here's my all pie. It's the same pie done repeated. Isn't that sweet? When did I do this? Let's see. When did I do this? 2003. Ooh, I was a baby. 2003. So the plaid is Dan River. So how many of you, Dan River textiles used to be made down here in Southern Virginia. There's a Danville is the name of the town, which is still there, and there's actually some textile mills still standing that they've converted into, I think, condos and things like that. But I used to work a lot with the Dan River Company. See the plaid in the back? And you know, this was at the peak of plaidness. Plaids were everywhere, but Dan Rivers were so nice, and they were a different texture. They were a bit more, a little coarser. They were double-sided. So here you can see on the hanging sleeve, if I show you, I can show you the back side of the hanging sleeve. See, it's double-sided fabric. So there you go. There's my all pie quilt. So today for Pi Day, if you have a quilt, if you've made my farmer's market, or if you've taken my pie block and done something with it, or have somebody else's pie block, love to see the pie blocks today. Okay, I'm wearing my Irish shirt because I will not be on video on St. Patrick's Day. And so I thought I would just wear it today. So if you are Irish, leave me a comment here at YouTube telling me if you have some Irish blood in you. When Greg and I went to Ireland, we took a tour group to Ireland, and when we came back, I mean, we were there, the Irish people were like, what's your last name? You know, we know somebody over in this other town with that last name. I mean, they were all about helping you find your heritage, because they had like kiosks, ancestry kiosks, like everywhere. It was the most fascinating thing. I've never seen another place like that. But so many Irish emigrated out of the country and went to other countries that there are so many people with Irish heritage. It turns out Greg's family had never done a lot of research on ancestry, and when we came back, he did a bunch of research, and turns out our last name, Sloan, was an Irishman from many, many years ago. So it was a long time back that, that the gentleman came here, but that's where the last name came from. And actually on my side, my mom's mom has a bit of Irish. So I also have real Irish, a little bit of real Irish blood in me. So that was really fun to learn. Okay, remember I showed you these spools? I spun off 3 of them, sewed them down or wound them on bobbins. So that was nice, because remember I said I had like 4, and I think the other one is, I still have 1 to do. It's back here somewhere. Yeah, that one. So I'll work that one down because it doesn't have that much left on it. Oh, what else do I have here today? I have Oh My Stars, which I have basted. Oops, let's pull this back and up. Okay, so I have it basted, and I have started to quilt it with the wave. So there's the wave, you can see it. But what I'll do here is I'll turn on the machine and I'll show you the little wave stitch in case you have not done it yet, and talk a little bit about it and how I set it up. First, you're going to need your walking foot on. This is the walking foot for the Baby Lock Solaris. It is a little bit bigger than some, you'll see, because, where is it back here? You can see that. It's electronic. It connects because this is a computerized machine with a lot of bells and whistles. So first, let me just show you here. This is the stitch that I've been using. It's a serpentine or a wave stitch. I call it the wave, but it is a serpentine stitch, you might see it called. And one of the things is getting the size that you want. And you might want to do a little test sandwich, because I'm going to go ahead and show you some things, and then I'll test out on the outside edge. But this happens to be kind of the length and size that I like, because just let me tell you quick, it's like if you make them too close, they're going to do a lot of puckering, but you can elongate them quite a bit. So first, let's go over here, and I need to find the serpentine stitch on the Baby Lock Solaris. It is on the second set of stitches, and it looks like this, 219. See, I can just push that up so you can see 219. And I have it set for 6 as the width and 1.6 as the length. So the width is this part, the curve, and the length is between each one. And you can see from here down to what's actually stitched. There, you can see what's stitched. It's much tighter to me than the picture. So that's why you have to do a little bit of a test to see what's going on. Now, if I want to make this, the curves closer together, make them closer together, then what I would do would be to make this number smaller. See how they're going closer? Now I can go back and I can just reset. And this is the default, 5 by 1, and that is not what I want, right? So I can, oh, I don't have it. I didn't have it programmed. So I had 6, whoops, yeah, I had 6, right? And 1.8. There we go. So back to 6 and 1.8. Now if I wanted to make it longer and less, the curves softer, then I'll make the number bigger. And whoops, I'm going the wrong way. Make the number bigger. There we go, Pat. That way. Do you see how it went bigger? So I'm on 2.5. Let's see what 2.5 looks like when I sew it. So I'm just going to sew a little bit out here so we can take a look. I'm just on the batting and the backing, so there's only 2 layers. But there you can see how the curve, it's got a thread in it. Do you see how much more open that is than here? These are closer together, and that's much more open. One of the interesting things about doing this is this will take longer to do, because there's more stitches, you're going back and forth more, and it will take a little bit more thread. This is going to be a little faster to sew because you're going almost, you're not quite a straight line, are you? But you're kind of getting there, you know, more of a straight line. So what if I made it even more straight and, whoops, oh, I keep hitting the wrong direction. Okay, so there's a 3.5. There's a 3.5. Real life, you always get real life here on the Sloan Zone. You can even hear that it sounds different when it's stitching. So you can see these two together. Do you see the difference? Look, see, that's so soft. So soft, which is also pretty. I mean, you could do it like that. Okay, so I am just going to stitch a little bit. Of course, now I want to go this way. There we go, 1.8. And distance-wise, when you're doing like a table runner in particular, I mean, you could be marking off, you know, whatever distance you want. This is about a width. So I did this. So you got the foot about the width, so that when the outside the foot is about at the edge of the peak of the curve. And that gives me that distance, which means I have to do a lot. I've got this jammed up. Hold on there. So that means I have to do a lot more of these lines if that's the distance. I could do less. I could maybe just do 1, 2, 3 across here. Now I'm going to have about 4 across here, or 5, which is fine. It's not very wide, so it doesn't take as long. But that is just some of the decisions you make and what you're doing and what you like and how much you want. Just leaving one here and one here is probably not enough sewing on it. I mean, if you're never going to wash it and never going to handle it very much, it definitely holds it together. But it doesn't give it enough sort of for washing and things like that. So this is what I'll be doing over today, finishing today. Here you go. I've got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for those of you who are a little bit more relaxed like I am, I did these two first, which measuring the edge like I just showed you. Then I did these two. That left me the middle to sort of come down the center, which you can see is not perfect. Shock, shock, shock. Okay. So for those of you who are much more detail-oriented, you can, of course, either mark, which is, to me, a lot of extra time, or you could maybe have split this into 4 or 3 if you wanted less, and mark them somehow, you know, maybe out here, whatever. But I don't mark them, and I'm much more relaxed, and I don't really think in the scheme of life that I see much difference at all. This purple fabric, you can't even hardly see it. And a few videos back, I showed you the difference between the straight stitch and the curve, and how the straight stitch really makes your eye see it. And when you have the curve like this, the soft curve, it's much more blended and just sort of softens and just lets the texture be there and not like so much seeing the design as the hard straight line does. Also, remember, you have the option like I just showed you. You could make this a little bit softer curve if you wanted. That might be nice too. I'd like to do one sometime like that. I haven't done that. Okay, we're going to go to the next thing. So we are going to wrap up the Quilted Witch, and the Quilted Witch's Garden, which is my version without the witch on it. So, there we go. I am so delighted with this, and I love the cat. Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that just make a cute block or a quilt of just those cats? Just so darling. And I did put a little border around it just of the same background fabric. I don't want to make it any bigger than this. I think this is good. Now, here's the backing fabric. It is my this is Drawing Room wide back in this beautiful cream with just a tint of that sort of turquoisey light blue. Look at that with it. Look how perfect. So remember, when you see wide backs that come with a particular line like mine do, they are good for things that are quilts that are not made with drawing room. So if you have a lot warm and cozy quilts and you're looking for a beautiful backing, my wide backs might be just perfect for your project. There's dark colors, there's blacks, there are tans, there's a beautiful, beautiful light blue. They're all this design, but they're different colorways, and there's quite a few colorways. The lightest light blue, oh, I want to make actually like a whole cloth quilt, just have it quilted, just take the yardage and just have it quilted. I could have a quilt on the other side, but I'm thinking maybe I'll make two. Maybe I'll make one with maybe one side beige and the other one light blue and just quilt it up. Wouldn't that be pretty? For some reason, I did not make binding for this yet. What? I think I want scrappy. I think scrappy would be super cute because I'm not putting any other binding on there. I mean, any other border. We're just going to put binding. So I think a scrappy binding in the oranges and the browns, a little bit of the turquoise would be really, really cute. Okay, so we're going to wrap up today with Christmas all year, our quilt along with my best buddy's book, Wendy Shepherd's book, Christmas quilting. Okay, give me one sec. So here is the sampler, the digital picture of it. And we are doing pieces of different quilts within the book. And you've done this with my books in the past. But her Christmas book super lended itself to having such an adorable quilt. I just had to do it. And we're working on the word joy. And this monthly, you work on some of the blocks. So this month it is the J and the Y so that we can spell the word joy. Now I managed to get 2 of the sets done for the video, and I will do the other sets in the next day or so. So here's the first set, the J and the Y, and I'm just using the different reds, and here's the second set of the J and the Y. But let me just show you, I did a little video of it sort of laid out. Let's take a look. So I just want to show you this as I had it laid out. I'm doing this in the evening and I'm not doing regular filming while I'm doing this part, but because there's 2 words on there, I've got them stacked so you can see, like, here's the floral underneath, and this sparkly on top. So I have them stacked. For the J, there's the sew and flip corners for the J, and then the Y. So here's the Y, and I have these 2 fabrics stacked that I showed you. So that way I can keep them together. They're all sort of placed. I'll have the book out and follow along so I don't get switched around or mixed up. And these are directional, the trees, so I had to cut the tree fabric so that I didn't get sideways trees here on this one. I wanted them to be vertical, and same down here. So that's just something to watch out for. I'm not going to worry so much about this one sew and flip. I don't think you're even going to really see in a half of a square like this, not really even see what that image, what that image is. So I don't have to worry about that guy. Okay, so I just wanted you to be able to see these before I sewed them. For the book, there are a few little corrections, like a letter that's wrong, where it's really obvious it's not, and some other typo things. So there's a errata page that I will link you in the description box here so that you can go over to Wendy's site and pick up any corrections that you need to put in here. And I want to be very careful, particularly with the trees, that they all were going the right way. Now, I did not on the pine cones, which I could have, because it's actually fairly directional. So how does this look? You end up with, I need a long, like, design board. So it's J, there's the O. So, and now I can sew these together to make, whoops, there we go, to make the words joy, to make, though there's 3 of them, so you have to make 3 of them, and I will get those done and show you, I'll show you when they're done. I'm not going to wait until next month. So once a month on the 15th, we get assigned something from the book. So it is just super fun. And it lets you try some of the different blocks from the different patterns and then see how they look and how they make up. And then maybe you'll want to go and make the whole quilt that goes with that particular block. It's just a super fun way to experience a book and use your books that you have. And her book is so reasonably priced. It's around $10 for all of the quilts in here, which are a ton. And they're not, all of them don't have to be Christmassy either. So that's nice. Okay. We're going to wrap up. Now, I'm going to remind you, it's on the calendar, but I will remind you now that I am taking a video break for a few days. So Friday, Monday, and Tuesday, there is no video, nor on the weekend. But so the next video will be next Wednesday, the 20th, which happens to be my dad's birthday. But I have some family coming in and some family things I have to help with, and I need a break, so I need a break from having to, work on projects and do videos and do some other stuff. And so I will be back with a new video on the 20th. I will probably post here and there on the community page here at YouTube. If you go to my tabs on the community tab, and also in my Facebook Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. So exciting. If you have your quilted witch done, or the quilted garden, like my virgin, done, share a picture, or if it's close to the top being done, the flimsy is a top. If it's close to be done, please share it, and I'll try to collect some pictures up for later in the month. All right, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.